Hello, everybody. We're back once again to cover some more receipt threads for Cafe and Diner Archive. I want to pose a question before we even begin this video. I've noticed that a lot of the passworded receipts in this particular month are all knowledge-based, which means that I would need to read further into the series in order to get those passcodes in order to enter these receipts. Now, do you want me to go through this the way somebody who's brand spanking new to this particular series would go through this and wait to answer these questions, or would you rather I use the now up again archive website in order to do those now? I pose that to you. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. With that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get into the BTC thread. I will not go to CD BTC08 because I don't know the answer to that question off the top of my head unless I go and find a password or go to the archive website to get the help and get the password. Therefore, I will wait for your guys' response to the comments regarding that. So this one is 8/9/1988, I think, and it states the following. And now the fun begins. We can begin brewing the coffee, so to speak. Of course, we aren't actually going to run a real combination cafe and diner. This market is oversaturated, and I worry that it would distract us from our true goal, serving customers. Customers, of course, is a code word I have developed alongside one or more. If we are to truly attempt this crazy idea, we'll need to develop quite the lexicon of code words. Still, I doubt we can maintain the charade of cafe and diner for long. The lighthouse has eyes everywhere. We've covered this one before, but I'm rereading it for the purposes of this video. Still, I think it will be worth working to maintain the atmosphere of a cafe and diner. Organizations of our type tend to be a dime a dozen, yet they tend to lack a theme. And themes are fun, aren't they? It adds a nice sense of levity to what tends to be very dark and messy work. Seeing as Motomora and I met in a sleepy little diner during a sleepless summer in Long Beach, it only feels right that we should try to milk that nostalgia for all that it's worth. So, here are some code words I've worked out so far. Coffee is an obvious one. I feel coffee can stand in for the general work that we intend to do, but it would also mean a sort of misdirection in general. Customers, who we plan to serve, I'll go into that more later. Tourists can be those not in on our coffee game. Patrons can be those who are not customers but still interested in our business. Baltimore, my title, I feel could also represent a sort of truth that coffee doesn't. Friends is a not so clever twist, can be our adversaries and competitors, and salt and pepper can stand in for our friends at the lighthouse. See, already this cafe speak is proving to be quite the fun linguistic game. Yours in Baltimore, JC. The next one is BTC2, also Baltimore. This is the next day. As mentioned yesterday, I wanted to write a bit on the topic of customers. I suppose, more pressingly, what our goal as an organization is, or at the very least, should be. In cafe speak, I would classify what we intend to do rather simply. The cafe and diner will serve the best coffee to its many customers. But there's that word, customers. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, wouldn't you agree? So, what is a customer? I suppose to define a customer, I must go back to how this idea of an organization started. It started with the death of my parents at the hands of a notorious customer from Detroit, Miss Cadillac. Their death sent me into a dizzying spiral in the deepest rabbit hole an Alice, like myself, could ever fall down. I love that, by the way. I wanted to, no, had to learn more about Miss Cadillac, where she came from and why she did what she did. And in my research, I stumbled upon Monomora, the brightest, most resplendent light in all of the universe, Lucifer. Yes, Miss Cadillac is what is known as a demon. Its Baltimore name is the Nain Rogue, the demon of the straight. Lucifer, Monomora, consequently is also a demon, though a demon of a far higher caliber, for she is a prince of hell. One of the seven who rule over the planes of the other side, a dimension parallel in time and space to our own reality where strange creatures and demons reside. Due to the nature of our reality, the flip side, and their reality, the other side, occasionally creatures and demons leak into our world. And that is what the cafe and diner will seek to correct. It will be our mission to send these errant travelers back to their proper homes in the other side. Perhaps if we can do that, we can save another set of parents down the line. If anything, we can maintain some sort of cosmic balance between the flip side and the other side. For there is no such thing as a failure, only half success. Okay, so I love that this is a twist on cryptids. From what Baltimore is telling us, cryptids are demons in this particular universe. Our side of the universe, the human world, is the flip side, and demons, or cryptids come from the other side. I also like that Lucifer is a cryptid, but also Lucifer is a woman in this case. That is a lot of fun. So the whole point of this, which has been alluded to this whole time, is that the Cafe and Diner is actually a bunch of people that are trying to capture and return demons, aka cryptids, to their particular realm, the other side. Love that. All right, let's go to the next one. BTC03. I suppose the task ahead of us is easier said than done. While serving customers coffee in theory should be straightforward, each customer prefers a different type of coffee. The other side is a vast and segmented place. As mentioned in yesterday's receipt, there are 7 planes of the other side. Lucifer's plane, the Morning Star; Mammon's plane, the Infernus; Satan's plane, the Haunter Skald; Belphegor's plane, the Ouroboros; Beelzebub's plane, the Esther Skald; Leviathan's plane, the Mida; Asmodeus's plane, the Amaimon. I like that. And I'm pretty much familiar with all of these demons, by the way. I've discussed them in length at some point, and it's a bunch of different demons or versions of Satan from different cultures, which is really, really freaking cool, not gonna lie. Each is vastly different from the others. The Morning Star, for example, is blanketed in a blinding light, while the Infernus rages with heat of a demonic engine. The Haunter Skald is, by all accounts, very similar to common descriptions of hell. The Ouroboros is a strange plane inhabited by near-immortal snake-like creatures. Then there's the Esther Skald and the Mida, an endless forest and ocean, respectively. And lastly, the Amaimon, where most humans end up when they die. That's actually really cool. I love that they put these different planes with their respective demon, and it reflects their personality and their traits in one way, shape, or form. That is another important thing, isn't it? When a person dies, they are reborn into the other side as a demon. Plants and animals too, though when they are reborn, they are referred to as cryptids. Ah, there it is! You said the word. Which of the 7 planes you are reborn to has to do with something known as soul accord, an agreement amongst the 7 princes of hell to divvy up who gets which reborn soul. In the end, however, the vast majority end up in the lowest of the 7 other side planes, the Amaimon, where they live out a rather dulcet afterlife. But the worst of humanity often finds themselves reborn into the domain of Satan and the Haunter Skald. These demons are the demons one most often thinks of. Terrifying boogeymen and creatures of the night who spend their afterlife attempting to ruin the current lives of humans. In the course of our work, I assume we will often cross paths with demons from the Haunter Skald. While we will try to serve them coffee in the usual way, we might need to pay their tabs in full. Kill them. Alright, now the next thing we will need is some sort of device to keep track of our work. I have a few designs already in mind, but I will need some parts from the other side. Due to the nature of how the other side is parallel to our own, they are far, far ahead in the future. It is a difficult concept to really wrap your mind around, but the simplest way to think of it is like a circle or cycle. If we are at one point in the circle, the other side is at the opposite end. As we move further into the future, they advance further towards our past and, paradoxically, further into our future. All that to say, the other side has something more than just cryptids and demons. It has something known as other tech. Technology that is so far advanced and alien to us, it can do some truly amazing things. The main component I would like to source from the other side is a database core. It's a sort of artificial intelligence. Uh-oh, that's never good. You could even think of it as a mechanical cryptid of sorts. Ominous. Red flag. With a database core, we could have our receipts stored outside of the limitations of current Flipside digital storage. Moreover, the database core can record encounters we have with customers with a degree of precision that would be unthinkable with today's technology. I'll have one more see if she can find a database core on the other side. Unlike other cryptids and demons, they aren't sent to a singular plane and are often in high demand. In the worst case, I imagine her brother Maimon probably has one in his hoard of treasures, though I wouldn't want to owe Maimon any favors. You'd have to be one hell of a fool to make a bargain with him. Though I have a good feeling Monomora will be able to find one in the outskirts of her plane. BTC05, I've been thinking once we get our receipt system set up, we'll need a code word for the other side as well. While other tech is far more secure than any technology currently found on the flip side, we aren't the only humans to see these advantages. Most notably, our friendly neighborhood salt and pepper distributors are well versed in other tech. It won't take them long to catch on to our work if we are just using words like cryptid, demon, and other side out in the open. course, using them in these private notes will be fine, but we'll need to start thinking about security, and soon both from our friendly competitors and demons themselves. Speaking of our competitors, I suppose I should muse a bit on my apprehensions toward the Astoria 23rd Agency. It's one of the 4 indigo organizations of the world, which consequently make up what conspiracy theorists would call the New World Order. NW was everywhere, brother. In reality, I believe that they regard themselves as the official government of the flip side. Oh, that's kind of a scary notion. It has often struck me as dangerous that the entire flip side is supposedly in the hands of 4 children. Immortal, strange, powerful indigo children, but children nonetheless. In the North America region, we are under the watchful eye of the lighthouse of the Astoria 23rd Agency. While the Indigo's claims to control the world government are dubious at best, the Astoria 23rd Agency has been in control of the US government since 1963. Of course, they only concern themselves with supernatural affairs, but in the course of our work, we will no doubt be stepping on their toes. See, the Astoria 23rd Agency isn't all that interested in sending cryptids and demons back to where they belong. They would much rather exterminate, experiment, and otherwise torture them to uncover further secrets of the paranormal. And that does not sit well with me, Monomore, or my trusted associate. Yeah, that wouldn't sit well with me either. Number 6 on the 14th, I think I've got it. We can refer to the other side as Ottawa, and customers as Canadians. Clever, isn't it? The way I see it, customers are not too dissimilar to us Americans. Sure, they may have claws, wings, horns, forked tongues, and any other number of strange features, but we are still both North Americans, as we share the same cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And if we, as a cafe, will be in the business of serving coffee, we should also have an interest in making sure our customers get home safely. That also reminds me, I don't believe I've mentioned how we'll be getting our customers back up to Ottawa yet, have I? That's where my trusted associate comes into play. He was once a member of the Astoria 23rd Agency under Division Zulu. The Zulus are, on paper, in charge of cult and esoteric affairs, though they often dabble in much stronger coffee than that. One of the more impressive feats of the Zulus is their use of sigils to open weak spots in the boundary lines between the flip side and the other side. In this sense, if we find these airports, we can book our customers' flights home. And as luck would have it, airports are often rather easy to spot. They tend to develop around areas of extreme psychic distress, in layman's terms, haunted spots and locales. Anywhere that is said to be haunted is often a great place to open a rift between our dimensions. In fact, that is often how cryptids and demons end up in the flip side in the first place. Cryptids more often than demons, however. See, demons often boast a higher intelligence to cryptids and, as such, are held to higher standards of not crossing into the flip side as they please. Cryptids, on the other hand, cannot help but they stumble between worlds. I would much rather they make it home safe than under a Division Quebec scalpel. I agree with that. That was the other reason I thought Ottawa would be a clever word. Division Quebec of the agency's primary area of study is cryptids. A bit tongue-in-cheek, never hurt anyone, did it? No. I actually like the way this guy talks. Baltimore's funny. He's really funny. I love it. And the last one, yes. Yes! I knew Monomore was more up than up to the task. She's found the database core, and quite possibly a perfect one. Far exceeds what I had imagined, and I believe it will more than suffice as the basis of our interconnected communications and database system. I will need some assistance from some old allies of mine to get it properly set up, but time is not an issue. Soon, if not by tomorrow, we will have a fully functioning system for cataloging customers, recording receipts, and keeping the coffee warm for our friends. I suppose as a test, I can upload these daily notes I've been recording to the system, though I will need a way to hide them from the public view. I, more often than not, was more in the cafe than the diner. In doing so, they may be rather difficult to retrieve if I need them later, though I also have my physical copies. Even if they were lost, I'm hoping that the database will, in a way, absorb their information so it can hit the ground running. It will save us immense time if the database can already understand the meaning behind much of our cafe speak. And once we have the database fully configured and our communication devices working, well, I have some more pressing thoughts I've been dying to write down. I haven't told Monomore or my trusted associate all that I know yet for fear of changing the unknown. Things have been different. I've already noticed, and of course they should be. As such, I don't fully know what to expect from this new adventure, but anything will be better than our old one. But more on that once I can assure myself it will remain confidential. That's the last one we have that is not password protected. This one says the mantle. I'm not totally sure what the answer is. I could go find it if I went to the archive, but I want to see what you guys think first. So once again, if you think it best I just use the website instead of waiting when it comes to these knowledge ones, please let me know. Until next time, sweet nightmares. I wanted to take this time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so greatly appreciated and I can't thank you enough. If you'd like to become a Patreon, there is a link in the description below, and if you'd like to become a channel member, just go ahead and click that join button and join the Truth Sleuths and Horror Hounds. All channel members and Patreons receive 24-hour access to videos prior to their public release and exclusive updates on my progress. After a certain tier, you can request that I do a certain topic or movie review, or you can even request that I do a game live stream, whichever works for you. At the highest tier, you not only get to choose the topic in which I cover, you get to either co-host the stream or the video that I do that covers said topic, no matter if it's one or multiple. Of course, this is not obligatory. If you want to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it, and once again, thank you so much.